The number one question that I get from social media managers and freelancers is, how do I price my services? So today we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you exactly how I teach everyone enrolled in the Social Media Manager Survival Guide how to outline, structure, and start to price your services. Inside of the Social Media Manager Survival Guide, you will also find a ton of chapters, templates, and resources to help you either level up your current social media management business or start to step into this industry with everything that you'll need. If you're interested in seeing everything that comes inside of the guide, I will link it in the description below. And if we haven't met, hi, my name is Lex. I'm the owner of Page Media Co. and the creator of the Social Media Survival Guide, which is designed to help us all survive social media. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Page Media Co. And for everything else, you can visit the socialmediasurvivalguide.com. You know why we're here, so let's get right into pricing your services as a social media manager. When I first started in this industry, I had no clue how to price my services. I didn't know anybody else that was doing what I was doing, so I had no idea what somebody would be willing to pay for a service like social media management. And honestly, pricing your services is one of my least favorite things to talk about because I want to hype you up and I want to encourage you to charge premium level pricing. And I want to encourage you to chase your dreams and your big financial goals. However, I also want to encourage you to be realistic for the services that you're providing. For example, if you were to take your car to an auto body shop and as you're dropping it off, the front desk person says to you, "We're not entirely sure how to fix this problem, but we'll just look it up on YouTube." I personally would be a little turned off and would not want to leave my vehicle with this auto body shop because they just told me that they don't exactly know how to fix my problem, but they'll try to figure it out. So this is exactly what I mean when you start to price your services. It's not necessarily fair to charge somebody a premium price for something that you don't consider yourself an expert in. Now, I do believe that once you master that skill and you are really confident within your craft, you can absolutely set that goal of making $10,000 a month or having a $2,000 or $3,000 social media management package. But I think it's very important to recognize where your skill set is. And this isn't me saying that it's a dog eat dog world or there's some sort of seniority hierarchy. I have seen people with way less time experience than me do way better work. And that's just being 1000% transparent. So it's important not only to consider things like how much time or money you have invested into building this skill, but also things like the results that you know you can guarantee. Because again, when it comes to suggesting pricing for something like this, there are so many factors that play into it. So when it comes to pricing your services, you also want to keep in mind who your ideal client is, what their budget would be, how much you have invested into your business, whether that's time or money or education, and how much you've invested into things like different equipment or softwares that level up your work. So I know you're probably listening to this like, can you please just give me a number? And I'm going to, I promise. It's just, again, there's a lot of varying factors that go into this part of being a freelancer of any sort. Financials can be a very sensitive topic. So something else to keep in mind as you go into pricing your services is to make sure that you have a really healthy relationship with money. It's important to make sure that you're not in the mindset that you are just trading your time for money and to make sure that you're not associating your worth with how much money you make. I'm not really certified to speak any further on that. I'm not a mindset or a money coach. Again, there's just a lot of factors here. But we are going to talk about some numbers. And again, please keep in mind there are so many different factors here. So let's start with some numbers from Glassdoor.com. So if you're not familiar with Glassdoor, it's a website where people can be very transparent about what their annual salaries are for specific companies or within a certain field. As of September 2022, the reported incomes for social media management corporate positions were as followed. The lowest reported salary was $33,000, the industry average was $54,000, and the highest reported salary was $89,000. Now, it's important to remember pricing yourself as a freelancer is going to be a little bit different than these corporate positions, but this is where I think this information can be really useful. In order to give yourself a starting point, look at what these social media managers made per hour. When working 40 hours a week, the lowest salary was about $17 per hour. The industry average was about $28 an hour, and the highest reported hourly rate at $46 an hour. Now, again, it's important that you don't get stuck in the mindset that you're trading your hours for time. But again, this will help give you that starting point. And again, in that workbook, we'll walk through the exact steps of pricing your services, but some important things to keep in mind. Everybody's services are going to be different. So a service that I offer might take me 10 hours a week to complete for a client, whereas it only takes you 5 hours to complete. So it's really important to look at exactly how much of your time is being dedicated to this service. So for example, let's say you put together a custom full-time management package for a client and you know that it's going to take you about 10 hours per week to perform all of the tasks that you are contractually doing for this client. Now, let's say that you went with that industry average of about $28 per hour. Those 10 hours would be about $280 per week. Now you can choose to invoice your client per week or bi-weekly or per month. And we'll talk about invoicing and contracts in just a second. But back to that $280, I recommend using this number as a base rate. So it's important to remember that that hourly rate doesn't have to be the end all be all of what your package will be priced at. So pricing your services can absolutely be a huge hurdle, especially in the beginning of your business, but don't let it be what holds you back from getting started or starting to pitch your services to businesses or brands. The best piece of advice that I ever received when it came to pricing services was to just start with whatever number you feel is sufficient, and you have to adapt from there. You might find once you actually start doing the work that you are spending a lot more time than you thought you would be, and you're actually undercharging yourself, or you could start doing the service and realize that there's a better structure that you want to implement, or you could be completely over your target audience's budget and realize that you may be overcharging a bit. Not that your services are not worth whatever price you put on them. You have to know who your target audience is. You have to know what kind of budgets they can work with. So don't necessarily change the services that you offer to accommodate somebody's budget, but keep it in mind when you are starting to structure out your prices, what your target audience would actively be looking for in a contract with you. I hope this helps you start to structure and price your services. And as always, drop any questions about this process in the comments. I'm going to link another video right here that has a ton more helpful resources inside of it if you are just starting on your social media management journey, or even if you're just looking for a refresher or want to hear what I think are the most important parts of starting a business. And if you are just getting started, check out my template shop. I'll again link that in the description, where I have templates for every part of your process as a social media manager. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!